Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Mr. Van Winkle here. Just going to talk to you about using a new tool for math. Now, we're going to take a look at Thursday's activity, which is page 228, questions 1 to 4. When it tells you to use a geoboard and make shapes, use the Mathagon Polypad instead. So when you click on this link, it's going to take you to this right here. Okay, so hopefully you'll find the geometry part, and then we're going to click on polygons, and that can kind of give you some ideas. But ideally, what we're going to do is work down here. So you have the construction tools, which draws straight lines, okay, in any direction. And if you hit this button, it's an undo. You can also pick your color. So if I went with purple, there we go. Okay, you can also connect these. And then one other thing is, I would encourage you, because a geoboard has dots usually, I would encourage you to click on this setting. So then you can use these dots to guide you, right? So it also will kind of grab the dots. You'll notice that it's sort of like a magnet. So then you can kind of make sure that they connect. All right, so when it comes to that in your textbook, that part, let's take a look. So this week it's page 228 on Thursday, 1 to 4, right? So look at this photograph. So your first activity is talking about intersecting lines. So we have a 2x4 that intersects with this line here. Talks about things that are parallel. So when things are beside each other and never touching, those are definitely parallel. So this board here and this board, in fact, all of these boards are parallel with one another. Perpendicular is also when they are completely kind of square to one another. In other words, you could put a square sort of in their elbow where they join, where they intersect. Okay, and then they appear to be horizontal. It's kind of a weird picture, but I would say if this is our bottom horizontal of our photo, this one sort of looks horizontal. Okay, that would be an example. And then appear to be vertical. And we know vertical is up and down. In basketball, we talk about a vertical all the time, your vertical jump. How high can you jump? So straight up and down would be your vertical lines. And those would be parallel to the edge of the photograph as well. So consider that. Anywho, scrolling down to number 4, it says use a geoboard and geobands. You'll need square dot paper as well. So we don't have the square dot paper in like hard copy. We don't have the geoband tool, but we do have something better, which is the Mathagon Polypad. So what it wants us to do here is consider how the two edges of our Polypad are vertical, yes, and two edges are horizontal. So with that in mind, we're going to draw some shapes. So we're going to need a shape that's exactly one horizontal side and two vertical sides. So for me, I feel like the only way I could do that is if I make a four-sided shape. So let's go back to the Polypad. So you need one horizontal, two vertical lines. So we're going to play around with that. And we're going to use purple again. Let's see here. So my one horizontal, I'm going to draw like this. And then two vertical, so they have to go up and down, like you're jumping up and down. So let's go like that. In order for there to only be one horizontal, my next line would kind of be like this, wouldn't it? So let's draw my second vertical, which they asked me to draw, a little shorter. And then that way, I'm going to change the color here. My last line is going to join those two together, but you can see I have, oh, what did I do there? I undid it somehow. Let's go back. Nope, they didn't like that. Did I push that? Oh, weird. All right, let's do it again. So we have our line, maybe changing the color they don't like. And then my other line is a little shorter. Then I join them together. I join them together. Haha. All right, you can see it's not perfect, and I think making mistakes on this is okay. Let's see if that works now. Drawing tools, it does not like that. How come it doesn't think it's done? Let's see here. If I'm having this problem, you guys might have this problem. Let's try and solve it together. Okay, I'm happy. Now what? Move tool, drawing tool. Okay, that seemed to work this time. So I'm going to change the color. We're going to say that's my 1 vertical, or V1. We got V2, my 2 vertical, and then my 1 horizontal. Okay, so there you go. And then we call this 4A. And then you guys can go ahead and do 4B and draw your own shape. So enjoy it. One thing to keep in mind, they have some other things in here. So if you have some extra time and you want to do some math things that are interesting with polygons, I would suggest you maybe do something like make an animal out of shapes. So here we go. I'm going to give this a try. Let's see here, maybe one of these. And then you guys can rotate these so they don't have to keep going in this pattern. And then let's see what that is. All right. Another one of those. Now I'm going to draw. Let's see if I can just flip to drawing. My eye. Let's go with some purple ears. Let's go with some wings. This is a dragon, if you haven't already figured it out. We've got our claws, and then the legs. Maybe more like a griffin, eh? Talked about that last week, and that's the tail. Okay, anyway, if you're on tangrams and you want to get back to polygons, you can. Geometry, that's where we're working. There's also numbers. You can play around with that. They do fractions, so fraction bars, fraction circles. We may eventually use those. Algebra we're not working with, but there are also some things like this that you can use. Anyways, enjoy doing your shapes this week.